So I've been getting this question non-stop lately. Okay, is n8n falling off? Is n8n dead? And I get why people keep asking me this, because you're seeing me experiment publicly with other tools like Claude, CloudBots, and other agent style systems. So automatically people assume, oh, we are moving on, or we're just moving on to the next tool. But here's the thing, I'm not just a creator, I'm also an educator, and I'm also a builder who ships systems, right? And as builders, we don't chase hype. We use tools that work at a given point in time. Now, let me explain a bit why this confusion exists, right? So over the past few weeks, two things have happened at the same time. n8n content isn't pulling the same viral numbers it did last year, right? So if you look at my videos, you can see, and tools like Claude are getting a lot of attention. When that happens, people start to equate attention to relevance, but that's not always the case, right? Attention is about what's new. It doesn't necessarily mean it's relevance, right? And relevance is about what's actually running in production now, right? Those are not the same things, right? So the fact that you don't see a lot of tutorials on n8n does not mean that it's not relevant, right? Now let me talk a bit about what has changed. From my perspective, last year was the AI automation shockwave, right? People saw workflows that looked like magic. They were amazing. LLMs plugged into automations, agents doing things autonomously. And that wave was important because it brought a lot of people into automation. And mind you, automation had already existed in the past, but it was also the era of cool demos that don't really survive real usage. So once you try to run something every day, you stop caring about the hype of it all, and then you start caring about things like error handling, retries, observability, maintenance. Who else needs to use this? What happens when something breaks, right? And that's where real builders live, right? So let's come to the question, is n8n really dead? Let me talk a bit about this, okay? So let me be very clear. n8n is not dead. I don't think it's going anywhere soon, in fact, because the n8n team keeps like improving upon the functionality. There's a lot of updates every now and then. So n8n still wins where it matters most, right? It's fast to build with, it's visual, it's understandable, it's open source, you can host it yourself. I mean, it's great for schedules, webhooks, and orchestration, right? You can see exactly what's run and why it failed. And it has a low barrier to entry, but it also has like a very high ceiling. So if you want to learn how automation actually works, n8n is still one of the best tools out there. I actually haven't come across any tool that is much better than n8n within that scope, right? And that's not nostalgia, that's production reality. Now let's talk a bit more about why people feel like n8n is dead or n8n is fading away. The reason why people think n8n is falling off isn't because it stopped being useful, right? It's because the internet moved from look what I automated to show me something I can actually use, right? A lot of all the viral n8n content was for entertainment. So like you see a lot of content that had like very complex workflows and all that. They were fun to watch, they were fun to build once, but then they were rarely used long term, right? That doesn't mean n8n failed. It just means that the use case didn't stick enough. And subsequently, I'm going to do a video on some of the use cases I'm seeing that are actually winning within n8n, right? So let me talk a bit about when n8n starts to feel a bit more limiting, right? I'll be very honest here. n8n starts to feel constrained when you want to build something that feels like software and not just automation. And I know I've done tutorials on this channel where I'm trying to use a front end and n8n automation together, right? But real applications usually need like a clean interface, reporting, dashboards, and a simple handoff, right? You can bolt that onto n8n with Airtable, or you can have like a beautiful front end. And I've done that successfully on this channel. I'm going to link tutorials to that here. But the more product-like the system becomes, the more you feel like you're stitching together many parts, right? And that's when I start looking at other tools. This is why I've been testing tools like Claude and CloudBots. Not because n8n is obsolete, but because they unlock different layers of building, right? Claude, for instance, is great when you want to spin up a real tool quickly, right? Something with a proper interface and UX and all that. Claude is amazing. Now, CloudBot style tools are interesting because they push agent style delegation a step further, right? I'm not sure how useful that is yet, but I believe that some of that is definitely hype and some of that is also useful. And the only way to know the difference is to actually build with it, right? You wouldn't know, right? And the AI space changes so quickly that you don't have to get married to a particular tool. So let me give you a clean comparison between n8n and Claude, right? Here's like a mental model I use. n8n is an automation operating system. Just think of it like that for a second, okay? And Claude is a tool building accelerator. Now, n8n is where I care about reliability, orchestration, and observability. But Claude Code is where I care about UX and having that product feel. So it's not either or, it's what layer are you building, right? You need to ask yourself this particular question. What layer are you building at? Now, let me talk a bit about the hidden cost of Claude Code. Now, Claude Code makes it very easy to build, right? You can build a lot of applications with Claude Code, but keeping things running long term, I personally think it's a bit harder because once you move into code-based tools, you have to deal with things like hosting, deployments, environments, and maintenance. That's why a lot of my production automations still sit within n8n because it's stable, it's visible, and it's also fast to fix, right? I have the simple rule I always use. If it's automation, plumbing, schedules, webhooks, data movement, reliability, I just stick with n8n, right? But if it needs to feel like a product, I need to have dashboards, portals, client-facing tools, then I use Claude Code, right? Now, agent tools such as CloudBots, I think I'll keep them experimental until they have proven to me that they're a lot more reliable, right? Because they are new and there's a lot of hype associated with it, right? But this is my advice. If you are new, don't just start with what's trending, right? You can start with n8n, right? And then learn how workflows actually work, learn how to debug them, learn how to make them reliable, right? Once you have that foundation sorted out, everything else clicks. Which brings me to something very important, right? If you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, I don't want demos. Stephanie, you have so many tutorials on your channel. I want to actually build real automations. Then that's exactly why I'm running the n8n Automation Lab, right? It's a live cohort happening this February. This is a paid hands-on training. It's not going to be like another passive course. We're going to be building production-ready n8n workflows, the kind you can deploy yourself, the kind you can monitor and debug and trust. In this live course, I'll walk you through how I design automations as a builder, how I structure workflows, how I think about reliability, how I avoid the mistakes that can cause systems to break a week later. I'm going to talk about all this in the upcoming live session. You can check out the full details. I'm going to leave the link to the session in the comment section below so that you can check out the full details as well. Also, by signing up to this course, you get access to my paid membership for 6 months. You also get access to my 4-hour n8n course that you can use for further studies as well. Seats are limited. I want to keep the class really small because it's interactive and hands-on. So if you want to build automation skills the right way, then I'll definitely love to have you there. Like I mentioned, I'm going to leave the link to signing up in the comment section below so that you can sign up as well. So to answer the question, is n8n dead? No, I don't think n8n is dead. What's happening is the ecosystem is maturing, okay? We're in the world of AI and things move quickly, things change a lot. And as a builder, I'm going to keep testing new tools while staying grounded in what actually ships. Like I said earlier on this year, my goal here is simple, is to help people build leverage with AI, right? So I'm going to keep testing out new tools, exciting tools, and I'm going to help people build real AI systems. And if you want to build real n8n systems with me live in February, like I mentioned, the link is below so you can sign up. You can also check out all my tutorials on this channel. I have tons of tutorials on n8n, beginner friendly, advanced. I have a lot of these tutorials on my YouTube channel here. And if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel as well. But then as usual, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.